EVE Online has a reputation as being a fairly hostile game to new players. It is very easy to lose your ship to all kinds of supposedly unforeseen circumstances. Now, I believe that there are some powerful tools that new players can use to help them survive in New Eden, and chief amongst these is the Directional Scanner, or D-Scan, a device that is part of every single ship in the game, whether you are in a combat ship, whether you're in an explorer, whether you're in an industrial vessel, a battleship, or even your capsule. Ahoy there folks, I'm Captain Benzie, and by the end of today's lesson, you should have a firm understanding on how the Directional Scanner, or D-Scan, works in EVE Online. First of all then, let's familiarise yourselves with the D-Scan interface, the Directional Scanner. We're going to get this set up so that it's in position where you can always see it. You'll notice that here on my screen, I always have this at the bottom left, right next to my heads-up display, and I have the rest of my UI set up so that if I'm scanning or doing anything, I can always see this window. That is how vital D-Scan is. Now, if you're opening this up for the first time, come to the left of your heads-up display here and look for Scanners. Click this, and on the right is Directional Scanner. You can also use the default key binding of Alt-D, and that will open it up if you haven't already changed that. For now, though, if you click that or press Alt-D, you should get something that looks similar to this, but with the D-Scan results here docked inside this. There will be a button that you can press mouse over until you find it that says undock from this window, drag that into position, lock it so that it is forever here. You can also set this so that it is always above full screen views, so everything will now go underneath D-Scan, ensuring that it is always visible. Now, at the bottom of this window, you'll notice we have two sliders. We have one for range, and we have one for angle. Now, if you are looking to use the Directional Scanner defensively, you're going to want that angle set to 360 degrees. This will give it a full sphere of influence around your ship. And if you were to look at the overview up here, the star map version of this, you can treat this the same way you would the probe scanning interface. It is essentially the same thing, in that you can use the left mouse click and drag to pan and sort of change your angling around and rotate things. You can press the right mouse button and drag to move everything around here, and the middle mouse wheel scrolls in and out for you. There is also a button at the top here, in case you've dragged everything off to the side and lost it all. Let's zoom right in on that, where we can just tap this focus current location and bring everything right back to the center. Nice and easy. Now, with our D-Scan set to a full 360 degrees, you can see it's this full sphere of influence, and at 14.3 astronomical units, it will now ping everything in that area. So let's hit scan, and there we go. We have a load of information about what's nearby, and looking at this, there's a guy in a rattlesnake out here, clearly doing some ratting. We can also see as we come down a little bit further, there are some salvage drones and a whole load of wrecks, so it looks like someone is running some kind of combat site. They're killing everything and then using the salvage drones to pick it all up, or rather, it looks like this guy has killed everything and is now using the salvage drones to collect it all. That's information. If you are using D-Scan defensively and you ping that scan and it comes up with combat scanner probes, that is your first sign to get the hell out of wherever you are. But at 14.3 astronomical units, how do you know they're trying to scan you? Well, the sad truth is you really don't. I recommend bringing this down to at least 5, maybe as much as 10, or you can manually type in a distance in the middle here, say 7 astronomical units. Now, whenever we ping this, we're only getting things that are within 7 AU of our current position, regardless of direction. Now, if you see any combat scanner probes, you know that they are close to finding you, and this is your opportunity to get the hell out of there. Obviously, if you're in a faster ship, you can have that a little bit narrower because you only need to know when they're actually getting close to finding you. If you're in something like, say, an Orca that might be a little bit more slow, then yeah, you're probably going to want to have the Directional Scanner a little bit wider to give you more advanced notice. It is worth pointing out that combat scanner probes are what you are looking out for, not core scanner probes. Core scanner probes are used to find anomalies, and if you happen to ping the D-Scan and you see a load of core scanner probes nearby, it may just be worth looking around to see if there are any signatures or anomalies near to you that some innocent explorer could be trying to scan down. There's nothing worse than just running away because some explorer happens to be trying to scan down a relic site that's near to you. Anyway, that's how to use D-Scan defensively, but you can get more information out of this with a more direct approach. And to do this, we're going to put the range all the way back up to 14.3, and we'll talk about why that 14.3 astronomical units is really important in just a moment. We can then change the angle. And if you're looking at the screen above on the map, you'll see that this naturally narrows things down, which means you can now specifically target certain things in your area. Now, in order to do this, I'm going to need to get a little bit closer to something else, because I'm in a save point. Save points are essentially bookmarks that you can create that are more than 14.3 astronomical units from any major points around you. This is designed so that you can sit in a save point fairly comfortably. It's somewhere you can be, surprise, surprise, safe. Or at least mostly safe, because there's no such thing as true safety when you're undocked in EVE Online. So, essentially, yes, we can create a save point that is at least 14.3 astronomical units from everything else in the system. That is to say, stars, planets, gates, that kind of thing. What this means is that you as a player are then able to sit there quite comfortably, knowing that no one is going to just accidentally ping you on their D-scan just because they're passing through a gate or a planet. It's not completely safe, because if I could ping that rattlesnake earlier, it means if he's D-scanning at a full 360 degrees 14.3, he's going to pick up on me scanning as well. I'm going to appear on his scans, and if he's a combat pilot as well, a PvP pilot, and he thinks I'm a juicy target, he could now use that as an opportunity to start trying to combat scan me down from there. But here we are now at the sun of this particular system. This brings me a little bit closer to some of the other stuff nearby. Now, if I'm to open up this again, open up the system map, and bring that angle right the way down, you can see that I'm now only, oh crikey, what a pot luck there. I'm scanning in exactly the right direction to pick up on a load of the wrecks from that site. 14.3 astronomical units away. But this cone, how do you move this around? Well, this is tied directly to the camera around your ship. So if I were to left-click in space and drag, say, to the left, then the scanner moves left. If I drag right, the scanner moves right. If I move up or down, then the scanner moves up and down in that overview as well. Let's change the angle on that a little bit, just to show that a little bit better. There's the up, there's the down, there's the sort of left and right. You can angle this around. You can do all kinds of movements with this. Now, knowing this, you'll see that on this area here now, I've got all of this highlighted. This means, for example, if I wanted to check if there's anyone in this asteroid belt, I can point the scanner directly at it, and if I hit scan, it's going to tell me if there's anything in that region. And there is indeed a mobile depot there, somewhere off in the distance. But is that in the asteroid belt? I don't know, because it could be anywhere in that cone. So let's narrow the angle of the cone a bit. You can see that this is still shown inside the D-scan. Let's angle it even narrower, and it's still getting that. If we scan now, I'm still getting that mobile depot, but that could be anywhere in range of this cone. That means I can now drag the range of the D-scan down to just include that asteroid belt, and the second that goes off is when I know I've gone too far. So let's go one back up there, 9.5 astronomical units. Let's scan again. Now I'm not picking up. Oh no, I am still picking up the mobile depot. It is still in there. So yes, that mobile depot looks to be inside that asteroid site. I could try bringing this down a little bit further, but then I'm going to lose the sight. Let's get to the very edges of it. Doesn't look like it's in the very edges, but let's go up one more. There we are. And that gives us the information of what's there. Obviously, instead of a mobile depot, if that was another player's ship, say a catalyst or some kind of well-known ganking ship waiting there, that might not be worth going. Unless, of course, you're the other way round. You could be scanning through here and you look through at the different asteroid belts and you de-scan down that, oh, there's an orca there. But what else is in that belt? Do they have defenses? Is there anyone else around? And you scan that belt down and you go, oh no, it's just an orca doing its own little thing, or a skiff or whatever. And you spot that down. You can then let your friends know. You can then just jump into that site. And better yet, if this guy hasn't noticed, again, it's a mobile depot, I'm aware, but if they hadn't noticed, you could quickly warp away to a different point, like another gate, set a location here, so we can go like, save location and add a bookmark to this. Then I'm going to warp way, way, way away to a different gate. nice and safely well away from there. This means this guy is now descanning. He's going to just be getting all of that information down there, that anything within 14.3 astronomical units is going to be dangerous. But as a bunch of gankers, I can now just go to the gate, tell all my friends that there is a ship in that particular mining belt with a bookmark all saved ready for me. When my friends arrive, we just fleet warp directly into that asteroid belt and go ham. This is why descan is just one of many tools. The other tool to be safer when you are doing stuff in EVE Online is to, of course, A, do it in a fleet, because if there is, say for example, a whole bunch of you in a mining belt, then the gankers are suddenly a little less interested in it, because, yeah, suddenly you pose a little bit of a threat back. Gankers ideally want to hit you hard, hit you fast, and get out before Concord comes in. If there's a whole bunch of you that could be like keeping each other alive and defending each other, that makes that a harder task. The second thing to do is always make sure that local is a completely separate window, or if you do have everything in one chat, have local set to the open one. Tick to corp when you need to, when you want to talk to someone, but then immediately tip back to local. I like to keep it as a separate window, so that I can see how many people are in local. If I'm looking in local and I see someone with a suspicious timer, for example, or from a particular corp that I know is big on ganking or attacking players, that gives me a head up ahead of time. And if I see that local suddenly goes from 9 players all the way out to, say, 32 players, well, that gives me some warning that perhaps I should get out of the current situation I'm in, because that looks like a roam that might be coming in. At that point, if you're in an orca, it's probably too late if you're on your own, kind of thing. So there are tools that you can use, but none of them are guaranteed to work. And ultimately, the main scope of this video is teaching you how the directional scanner works and how you can use that. And hopefully, I've achieved that in this video. If this does give you an idea of how the directional scanning interface works, if you're now a little bit more aware of how to keep yourself well defended, then absolutely, I've done my job and you owe me a like for the video. And if you want more content like this, hit subscribe. And if you do want to go the extra mile to help support content like this, there are 3 ways you can do that. I have a tip jar set up on my PayPal. I have a Patreon that you can pledge to sign up to each month, and I'm trying to get better at writing blog posts and adding additional value for my loyal Patreon supporters. And I do even have a Redbubble merchandise store. So if you fancy owning some Captain Benzine merchandise, whether that's t-shirts, mugs, hats, all kinds of stuff, even stickers, then head across to there. You can buy some stuff, really help support the channel. Anyway, folks, let me know how you get on with this. Otherwise, happy sailing, and see you in New Eden.